No series knows how to create an atmosphere for a particular time of day than the Animal Crossing series. With music for each hour of the day, as well as songs for scripted scenes and all of the holiday events, the soundtrack for the first game of the series clocks in at a massive 7.5-hour marathon of music. In the special 4-part series, we'll be looking at a song from each of the main series of Animal Crossing games. Rainy Day from the first Animal Crossing will be our track today. The team of composers consisted of Kazumi Totaka, whose work included Luigi's Mansion, Wii Sports, and Yoshi's Story. Kenta Nagata, Toru Minegishi, and Shinobu Tanaka also joined him. What's interesting is that each of these composers worked on their own section of the game. Totaka served as the game's sound director, Nagata created the outside themes, Minegishi wrote the indoor themes, and Tanaka composed the events music. All of these composers have had a wealth of experience before coming into Animal Crossing, and continue to write for some of Nintendo's top games. The keyword for Animal Crossing music is simple: simplicity. This is especially apparent in both the indoor and outdoor music, including the song we're looking at today. Almost all of the songs never have a B section, meaning that they generally never switch to a different key or alter anything too drastically. The instruments are also used very selectively. Only what is needed is used, which often leads to only 3 to 5 instruments in an entire song. Take a glance over at the instruments and see for yourself just how few there are. It is quite a testament to see how simple you can bend your music and still keep it interesting. The beats per minute is set at 120, which is a fairly standard for most electronic music. Setting it at this speed gives off a feeling that there's still work to be done in the town of Animal Crossing. Slowing the tempo down reminds me of sitting at home and watching the rain from the inside. And I think quickening tempo does not allow the song to breathe with the rain. So 120 is a perfect setting for this. The instruments feature a great combination of synth bell, analog kit, and piano, including the rain sound effect. The synth bell is a sort of a riff setter, sort of like a guitar in a rock song. The drums provide a simple beat and don't get in the way of the other 2 instruments. And then finally the piano plays the familiar Animal Crossing melody. The lack of bass in the song is made up for in the synth bell, which is the primary low end of the song. To me, the synth bell is a perfect choice here, as it is ambient and soft enough not to become repetitive. Now let's take a look at the actual structure of this delightful piece of music. First off, I believe that the rain actually plays a part in the song's overall atmosphere. It sort of acts as a drone note throughout the piece. If you think back on songs that usually accompany rain, they usually only feature a solo instrument or a few at a time. The same is true here. So see how the song detracts from the overall atmosphere if you take away the rain. Now let's take apart the synth bell first. The chords here basically move from G minor actually. And all these notes use the G minor scale. And then it moves to the F minor. And then they continue alternating from there. Now the rhythm here is actually a little more complex. The second and fourth notes here are actually playing in triplet time compared to the first and second notes. And this contrasts the straight playing analog drum kit. You can hear the kick of the drum play just after this spell finishes, on this beat right here. It's a nice touch to bring in some intimacy. A quick note on the drums is since they are simple, The snare sound was precisely chosen to avoid drawing attention to itself. It has a quick release time and doesn't contain too much low or high-end frequency. And so is the same with the kick as well. The piano is the dynamic part of the song and is what draws the listener in. As in many melodies, repetition plays a huge role in shaping the structure of the melody. The A sharp, which is the fourth scale degree of the F minor, is repeated not only in its own measure, but in the second reoccurrence as well. And again, all these notes still use the F minor scale notes. Also note how these notes are kind of short, but not too short like a staccato, but not too long as in legato. They're just right in the middle. In the second phrase here, we start to see the familiar Animal Crossing theme that is played, for example, in the title theme for the game. What I love about this melody is how it descends from the A sharp and then goes down to the G. And in the last phrase, we see a variance of this part going up to the C. Anyways, that's it. You see the loop here after the third phrase of the piano, and then it loops back to the first phrase. Now, for the synth bell, just as a review, it provides a smooth and consistent sound. The analog kit is almost as simple as it can get, but the selection of the kick and snare sound itself is vitally important to the feel of the song. Lastly, the piano and rain seem to be created for each other. Now sit back and enjoy this full playthrough of this song. Even with the MIDI quality of instruments that had to fit within the capabilities of the N64 as well as the GameCube, the first Animal Crossing game shined where it counted most: creativity in small spaces. I always look at the series, especially this first game's music, as inspiration to create more minimalistic pieces. Of course, in my next video, we'll jump on over to look at Wild World and see how switching to the DS impacted the music. Thank you so much for watching my analysis. I thoroughly enjoy crafting together and recreating these songs made by these great composers of the past. The journey to uncover the secrets laid within these songs must go on, so I'll see you in my next video.